Today, I want to talk specifically to the position player, the athlete that's not a pitcher that's on the baseball field. Um, if you see my website, pitchharder.com, you basically understand that it looks like it's geared more toward the pitcher, which it is. 90% of my content is more for the pitcher than it is the position player. But in reality, I still train Major League Baseball All-Stars at the position player level, college athletes at the position player level, high school prospects at the position player level. So I wanted to bring out this information to all those who maybe have looked at my information and said, well, I'm not a pitcher, this can't work for me. I do have on my website a position player tab where in the future I will be having a new product produced very shortly. And I'll definitely make everyone aware when that comes out. But one of the first things I want to talk to you about is what baseball workout should the position player incorporate into their routine in order to see the greatest results. The problem that I see even at the highest level, guys I train in the major leagues, teams I train at the major league level, universities, etc. When I come into their facility or come to their, and I check out and analyze their training regimen, I always find a lot of flaws. And it's crazy because a lot of the baseball doctrine in today's age is wrapped up in the traditional mindset, and it has absolutely no place in today's training because the science that's out there is completely contradicts a lot of what's being said and taught, frankly. So one of the first things that I wanted to talk to you about today is proper training for explosive bat speed. You will be judged by the power that you have in your bat. The problem is most programs, like I said, give a one-size-fits-all method whereby they have 100 players, they give the same 100 players the same routine, and you may see 5 to 10 of them actually succeed at that routine. So the other 90% fail, 5 to 10% actually see results. And quite frankly, that is not success. Seeing that low of percentage is not something that I consider success. You have, like I said, you have to have explosive power. If you're able to deliver more of your body power, more of that energy into the bat, it's going to hit the ball and it's going to be, you're going to have that pop that everybody looks for, every scout looks for. There are specific ways, specific techniques in order to train for that. It's not just going into the weight room and blindly lifting heavy weights 24/7. Getting bigger, getting stronger is not the way. And I'm going to repeat that. Getting bigger and getting stronger is not the way for a baseball player to function at your highest level. It's a piece of the pie, it's not the whole pie. So you have to understand the way to periodize your training formula, which is setting blocks and growing on stages in order to reach that potential. But you have to know what training you have to do. You have to know what reps, what sets, what type of exercises. There's a whole list of things that you have to incorporate in order to get the desired bat speed that you're wanting, the power, the explosive bat power. You can't just, do your traditional routines and expect it to transition over to the baseball field. That's not how it works. I know and train a lot of very strong athletes at the college level who are massive, can lift a lot of weight, but their numbers, their ability on the field doesn't show that. They're never able to translate the amount of power they have in the weight room to the baseball field. And then on the other side of the spectrum, I have athletes who are, smaller in size, may not be near as strong as the other guys, yet they deliver power numbers, 95 mile per hour fastballs at 16, 17 years old, 400-foot home runs, 6'3", 6'4", 60s, pop times 1.7, 1.8 consistently, yet they're smaller. Now, is there a reason behind that? Yes, there's a reason behind that. It's specifically the way the athlete trains and how to incorporate that into the playing field, not just having a body that looks strong and looks powerful yet cannot translate. And there's a huge gap of misinformation that goes through the baseball world and why um, you're not seeing results like you should. Like I said, 5 to 10% out of 100 is not success to me. So you need to think about the way you change your mindset um, on that area. Another thing I want to mention on this, I've had to talk to numerous coaches around the nation for players that I train. I'll have an individual comes to me, I give them a customized training routine. I ask them what they're doing on the side, what their coach is implementing. 99.99% of the time, the coach is implementing something that is completely backwards, that does not work. So I end up having to, either have a talk with the coach, email the coach, or have the player, parents speak on their behalf, showing that, hey, my child is a top athlete. He wants to pursue this further. A professional trainer is telling them that what you're trying to implement at this level is not going to be beneficial and can actually decrease my chances. So, there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of players that are going through the motions when it comes to training at high school and college that are losing opportunities because they lack the knowledge they need. Number two, high velocity throws. In order to be seen as a good draft candidate, even at the position player, you need to have high velocity throws. They're going to clock you from the outfield. They're going to clock you from the infield. It's possibly they'll even clock you from home plate. You need to be able to throw hard. It's not just for the pitcher. We have outfielders throwing 100 plus miles an hour. You have to. Infielders throwing across the diamond 95 miles an hour. You have to. You have to have specific skills. You actually have to have a little bit more skills as a position player than you do as a pitcher, because there's so many different attributes to the position player that the pitcher doesn't have to do. The pitcher doesn't have to run. The pitcher doesn't have to hit hardly. The pitcher doesn't have to really field. So there's a lot of things that you as a position player have to excel on in order to take your game to the next level if you want to be seen professionally. So high velocity throws. You may have a batter that can hit 500-foot home runs. I'm giving an example here. But he can't throw 75. That's how Barry Bonds was. The guy could knock 475-foot home runs, but couldn't throw 75 from the outfield. So you may be thinking, how in the world can this man be able to deliver such powerful shots, hitting the baseball, but yet he can't throw? How is one different than the other? And it's completely different. So come to me, ask me, I will help you develop a routine customized based around you, based around your strengths, your weaknesses. I can develop a workout regimen that specifically targets how to have explosive bat speed, how to have high velocity throws. Okay, so the difference between Barry Bonds hitting amazingly and throwing slow, there's a difference, and he could have worked more on his throwing game if he knew specifically how to train and what areas to target in that sense. So you can't just be a guy that can hit the ball out of the park, but you can't run. You can't be a guy that can hit the ball out of the park, but you can't throw. You want the best, okay? So you need to comprise yourself of the best that you can be all around. Number three, blazing speed. Like I said before, you need to have major league speed. Major League Baseball average is 6.8 seconds running the 60-yard dash. Most guys are in the 7 range, 7.71. You have to have running 6.8 is like throwing a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. It's the average. But just having a 6.8 speed won't get you to the pros, because if you can't hit, you can't field, you can't throw, running's not going to do it unless you're a guy that's specifically running 6.3 60s. And they'll bring you in, they'll try to teach you to hit, they'll try to teach you to throw, but ultimately if you can't do that, they'll drop you. And I've known guys who had blazing speed, who got drafted on speed alone, didn't make it more than a year because they couldn't hit, they couldn't throw. So you have to build the whole person. You can't just work on one area. You need specific scientific training that deals with every attribute that the position player deals with. You need blazing speed. I can teach you through my program how to explode on the base path, how to have first step acceleration, understanding the science of running, understanding how to build the athlete out to where I can give you specific training regimens, mobility regimens, understanding the angles of the running, understanding proper sequence, everything that you need in order to increase your ability to produce power into the ground to make your times go lower. I can help you do that. There's a lot of science to running. There's a lot of scientific ways to train to make yourself a superstar athlete when it comes to running. This is one of my favorite areas to train the position player at, is because I can get that individual so much speed that his stolen bases will go out the roof. You'll become an average player to one of the the best players in the major leagues for stolen bases. There's guys I'm working with right now at that level that I'm increasing their stolen bases percentage, becoming one of the top 5 in the whole Major League Baseball system for stolen bases. There's a way for that. Number 4, excellent fielding skills. Okay, you can have all 3 of these. If you suck at this, you're going to be a DH because you have to learn how to field. There are specific ways to train from the scientific perspective, not just going out doing mindless drills for hours thinking that they're going to translate to proper fielding regimens. Now, in order to get the basis down, the foundation, of course, you have to train from the ground up. You have to learn the fundamentals. Drills are important. But when it comes to training for excellency, when you want to really take your game to the next level, we incorporate training into the drill itself. So it's no longer just doing drill, it's a training aspect involved with it. And this is how you'll be able to create that range that no one else has in the outfield, that range that no one else has in the infield. Having the ability to reach a ball in a certain percentage of time, in a certain time slot, within a tenth of a second or a couple seconds, is the difference between being out and safe in the major leagues. College, same thing. It's less of a time in college. You have to be quicker in the major leagues. Same thing in NFL football. When you have a guy who's playing college football, the game is slower. The moment he gets to the NFL, the game is much different speed, and they have to train around that. So the same thing goes with Major League Baseball. You have to train around the speed of the game in order, and like a lot of this has to do with timing. A lot of it has to do with understanding how much time it takes to do certain things. If you can cut down on that time, then you fall into a percentage of being able to convert plays properly. Your fielding percentage goes through the roof. So a lot of it is just not just training, but understanding what to train for and how to train for in order to go to that next level. So contact me here at pitchharder.com. Go to my, I have a contact list. Contact me and say that you're a position player, that you want to, have me customize a training routine for you, and then I'll give you all the information we need to start. And I promise you that I will take your game to the next level.